Hey everybody, let's see if we can actually get some work done today, right? So here's our first Amazon delivery. It's called a MaxLander. It's about 30-40 bucks. I'll post that in the description. But it was kind of funny. I bought a bunch of different ones. And as they come in, I'm going to try them and see which ones actually work the best and actually which ones that last. And they got to last, more than just like one pallet. They got to last for like several pallets. The Harbor Freight one, the little green guy, that one doesn't matter because there's a warranty on it, but these aren't warranty. These are bought, try it, don't work, go the fuck back. So, MaxLander, if you look this up on Amazon, unlike I did, you'll see in there it says it's a frequently returned item. And people complain that there's no instructions and you got to assemble it. Now, by the look of the box that they sent it in, yeah. So, if you are experienced with chainsaws, then this should not be hard. That's the way I'm looking at it, Chainsaws only go together one way. Now, if it's the whole assembling of the whole engine and everything and such, that's just insane. Alright, here's our guard. We don't need that. Here's our arm. We need that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got a manual in a plastic bag, and we don't need that. Hey, we got our chain nice and tangled up. That's good. And we got our handy dandy chainsaw. Alright, let's unbag this bitch. Alright. Well, it looks pretty simple. Weighs like a chainsaw. It sits nice. I like when they can sit like this. Now, of course, my tailgate's really not the most levelest tailgate, but I wanted to try to get it to sit. Now, on top, there's two pieces. There's this that spins to the left that unlocks it, and then there's this that tightens it. So, we're going to unscrew it. And we're going to break it as we take it apart. Let's see. Okay, we've got to unscrew some more. How far do I have to unscrew? Alright, she's loose. Alright, so you unscrew that until it's loose, and that's it. On the inside of it, it shows you the direction of the chain. Right on the bottom, there's a little image. You could see the chain direction of where it goes. Okay, so that's good. So, alright, so, obviously it's idiot-proof so far. So far, right? And I'm your idiot today. Alright. This thing's just going to want to fall over constantly. Just let it sit there. Now the fun thing with the chains I learned from this guy on the internet on how to untangle this shit, because this is the most aggravating thing with a chainsaw, is you actually you get them as far as you can apart. And then you just got to carefully kind of twist them until they undo themselves here. Just untangle one. Okay, get them as far apart as possible so they retangle again. I did it last time. I don't know why this ain't working now for me. What the hell happened last time I did this? This is like the most aggravating part of anything. I'll tell you. Okay, and just like that, I don't know how that happens, but they're separated, so don't ask me. I don't want to know. But somehow or another, now they're fucking separated. This thing won't stay. Try to use the cover. Oh, cool. Okay, so I put the cover on the backside by the motor, and it sits nice and lower. Now we're going to grab our mast here. Our master cylinder. I don't know how to operate a bag here, apparently. So most of the time, the best way to kind of remember is that they're never going to send you the saw where you're cutting upside down. They want their brand name out on videos like such. So it's always a way of you kind of remembering like which way does the blade go. It's pretty kind of self-explanatory at that point. And just like anything else, you want to make sure it lines up so it looks at the slope end. No. Oh, God. Almost tangled it again. I hate that shit. Saw chain is like the most delicate frickin' thing in the world, man. You line it up wrong and you're done. Best thing to do is you stick it on a flat surface, you get it in, you carefully run your hand along it so you don't cut yourself open. Okay. I like to pinch it. You could also zip tie it if you want. I've done that before where I zip tied the top. It's just so much extra unneeded work. You slip it in. This is all for non-beginners, okay? So if you guys know how to load a chainsaw blade, this is simple. If this is new to you, then it's time for you to call a professional because you will lose some fingers. Okay, and obviously we're not plugged in. We got it on. Now we're just gonna, oops, there's 2 tabs on the back. Or A tab, there's A tab. A tab in the back, slips on like that. And now I'm just gonna take my wheel, my little arms on top, my bunny ears I'm gonna call them. I'm just gonna spin the bunny ears right now. And what that's doing is that's just locking down the cover. That has nothing to do with tightening of the blade. So I'm gonna get nice and snug. Okay, cool. So now my cover's on, my blade's on. Now we're just gonna do our chain check. It's not bad, it's a little tight. So that would be I'm guessing it would be this collar. It would be this collar when this isn't tight. Because this is not bad. It's a little tight. So I'm going to loosen this down, and then I could move this. Okay. There we go. So now I can get some play in here. I'm going to tighten it back up. See if that's good. See, I don't like too much play in here because then it has the possibility of getting out of the track. I kind of want to keep it where the teeth don't go down all the way. So I'm going to loosen it again until the black spins, which is about there. And we're just going to tighten it down until we're just about coming out. That's good. See how my teeth are still in the rail? I know it's almost like as tight as it was before. Back off just a hair. So just about the tip of the teeth are falling out. That's fine. Lock it back in. And that's it. We're done. Now, I'm going to open this up here. Of course, you guys are currently leaning against my fill, my liquid fill here. So let's stick this here. And this is like one of the most low-budget, cheap ones. A lot of people said they used it once. Some people said it didn't even work. I don't want to run it dry. I'm gonna throw some oil in it. I'm not gonna put a lot in it, and we're just gonna try it out and see what happens. That's about 1/4. That's good. Don't need too much in here. Burn through all my oil just to frickin' try this thing out. MaxLander. Kind of reminded me of Zoolander, you know, when I saw the name of it. Alright, that's nice. It's got a trigger on the inside here as your safety. Triggers here. The weight of it's not bad. It's got a nice heavy weight to it, so you gotta remember, you want a saw with some nice weight to it, because that weight is what's gonna help you cut through the wood. You don't want a saw that's super light that you can end up like hurting yourself like I did one time. And it wasn't that the saw was super light, I was just superly intoxicated. So, let's head over to the woodshed. Go over there. Handy dandy shed. Now obviously we didn't get too far, we didn't finish cutting that one up, so I'm going to finish cutting that one up, and then we're going to grab another one. I'm going to try to position you guys so you can see what's going on here. Alright, I'm going to do it with glovers. Getting all technical now. I put my glovers on. What's great is I just took regular work gloves and I double layered them because I was cold. It actually works too because it was good too because it actually the second layer helps with splinters and shit. It's a great little cheap activity here. This thing's falling apart. It's what I want, but this one's just a pain in the ass. So I'm going to cut this one on the ground because of that. It's a good thing I don't have a feeling on my foot. So I'm just going to cut this one on the ground so that I can just finish this off and then grab a new one. And the next one has a lot of slots on it. That's going to really test you up. Now, of course, this one is sent with a little plastic doohickey in there, so let's get rid of that. Always look inside. It's on there. Let's try it. Okay, that's a good sign. All right. Unlike the Harbor Freight one, it didn't work at all. Pinned down. Got my hand here by the guard. Got a good balance of it. course, cutting this shit is probably one of the hardest things to do because it's moving around and shit. But so I got this resting against my knee. You can't really see it, but I got the back end of it against my knee so I don't cut my foot off. Alright, getting there now. So actually the chain got loose on itself. So I got to loosen the butterfly, tighten it by the black, check it. Alright. A little kickback on that piece. Alright. So I can get rid of this nightmare. This pile, this guy, this guy's got a piece on it. Let's see if I can break that off. That's just got to get processed through the other saw. That's got to get processed through the other saw. Wood. Fall off my ass. Wait, moon everybody. Try and make myself some room here so I can work. Not getting fucked by shit away, you know. It's all good firewood too. You know what's great too is a lot of pallets nowadays. One thing I really didn't think of, I thought of it after the fact, was due to all this environmental concern, a lot of this wood goes to landfills, right? So a lot of these pallets, not all of them, but a lot of these newer pallets, I notice aren't chemically treated anymore. Which makes me think is the environmentalists have got into it where now, because a lot of this goes to landfill, unfortunately, because people don't know, they do now, and now it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to find some, but just under the nail. I like you guys got balls view right now, but a lot of the wood's not treated with chemicals, so it doesn't go back into the ground. That's basically what I was getting at. Anyway, enough of that jibber jabber nobody gives a fuck about. Where the hell the fucking extension cord go? Alright, I'm about to hang myself with this wire that's by my head. That's great. You guys see this last end plank? Yes, you can. Alright. So, I got it pinned against it. I'm going to start with the back end on it, and then I swing downward. Extension cord's getting in the way. Alright, I was close. I was getting close down to the ground. I had to stop. Slid this slid the saw up a little bit so that I wouldn't accidentally electrocute myself recording. Alright, so now the fun part is I got a beam in the way here. I'm just going to shift this over here. It's just going to miss when I start cutting them, but that's fine. Fucking wiring. What's that? Pulled it back up because it's a little close to the ground. But it's only thing I gotta say is that the blade that it comes with, if see, I forget the brand that I use. I have to really look at them. But the brand blades that I use are more aggressive, but they have like extremely low of that shaking, vibrating that you're seeing. So I would say the blade that came with it isn't really the greatest, but while it's free, you use it till it gets dull, and then you put something better on. That's the way I look at it. It's free, might as well. One thing I gotta say I like about this saw is unlike the see how when you're looking at it dead on, see how skinny that is right here? It's nice because you can pull out like I just did. The home light ones, they got this attachment on it that's like a hook or something. It's I don't know what it's for, but it's for it pissing me off. So I can't pull out once I'm in. This at least, you know, with the power of it, I can pull out a little bit. I don't have that big of an issue. It's hot in here now. Save more stuff. It's easier when the wood doesn't come swinging around back at you. Whew, smell the oil from this thing. Alright, so we got some oil leakage at top, and still got some oil inside, so that's good. Didn't burn through any of the oil. Didn't burn through a lot of it, but it definitely burnt through some oil. A scale from 1 to 10, being it's the first one I've tried out of the batch. With the price availability of it, the power, the weight on it is, it's got a good weight for something like this, because it's helping it go down. You know, I'm just using the weight of the saw. I'm not putting any pressure into it, so it's going down. Whoa, what the heck? It's going down on its own. This lock's going down on me. It's going down on its own, so that's good. I don't have to put any pressure on it. I'm not forcing it, so that's good. I can't free cut, but that's because the blades I do, I can free cut. Now, what do I mean by free cut? I could literally hold the saw like this. It cut the wood nice and clean, and it's not kicking back at me. I tried free cutting a little bit at one point. You can see how the whole pallet started swinging right at me. So that's, you know, that just comes down with the blades and stuff. You know, the blades on here aren't the best blades, but like I said, they're free, so you can't really complain. If they're too much of a hassle or pain in the ass after a while, I'd say change them. If I do keep the saw, I probably will change the blades out, because I'm not a fan of these blades at all. So if I do end up actually keeping this out of all the chainsaws I try out, then I'll switch the blades out on it. I do like the price of it because it is cheaper. I did buy a Milwaukee that's $240, and this is like only $40. So if this, let's say, lasts me for like, let's say like, I don't know, after the 30-day return policy crap, and you know, I could get, let's say, 4 of them, right? 40, 80, yeah, about 4 of them for the price of one Milwaukee. Now, if the Milwaukee one lasts for 100 years, I'll fucking have the Milwaukee, never have to change it. So it's like, do I want to keep buying chainsaws, or do I buy a more expensive one? So basically going from the cheapest chainsaw to the most expensive electric chainsaw. I want to put it that way, I guess. I like it. It wasn't a Milwaukee, it's a Makita. I'm thinking of the color inside my head when I'm cutting. I'm like, it's not a Milwaukee, it's a Makita. I got a Craftsman, I got a Makita. Because Makitas are always like $200 no matter what it is. You buy like one 10 millimeter socket from Makita, it's like $4,000. You gotta, you know, sign a waiver that you're not gonna lose it, you know, and shit like that. And you know, and then if you lose it, it ends up on the side of a milk carton and shit like that. You know, it's fucking nuts. Oh no, that's Snap-on. Never mind. Woo! Kickback is what I was talking about. That blade kickback. That I don't like. But that's because, like I said, that's the blade itself. That has nothing to do with the chainsaw. That's the blade kicking back. So here's an issue, right? So you can see it again. See this? This was tight. Now it's loose again. So it's almost like every couple of pieces you got to unscrew this and then spin it where the black is to get it tight, and then re-screw it back in. And then it's fine to go. That's always true about any chainsaw. You know, some of them have their quirks and stuff. You know, I'm actually surprised I finally got a chainsaw working. Maybe I finally got out of my funk over here. Holy crap on a cracker, I tell you, man. That was one hell of a fucking weekend. I couldn't take it any longer. But we're going to try to do a free cut. A free cut is when you're not, I call it free cuts, when you're not, this back section here, there's ribs, right? The ribs isn't sitting against the item. What it is it's sitting on the tip. And this piece, I guarantee, is going to start spinning, but I'm going to put the back end of the saw into my leg so that the saw cannot go into my leg. You understand me? Good. Okay. And I give it a little bit of an angle. Just like that. So what I did is I put the back end of the saw right into under my knee. So what that does is that controls the length of the saw. And what happens is, for me to move the saw back, I move my leg back. Because what happens is, if I'm cutting and this kicks, it's going right here. Not good. So you want to put it in a spot against your body where it ain't going to move. Alright. Not too bad, not too bad. Like I said, blades make a hell of a difference. So we did one solid pallet with it. It survived it. Seems like you got to tighten it every so often. It held its tightness there. It's got fluid in it, so it's good to go. I'm going to unplug this bitch. And that's it. So it's hard to tell. You know, it's my first one I'm running through right now of chainsaws. It's hard to tell which way I want to number this one. If it's a 1, if it's a 2, if it's a 5, if it's a 10. For the price of it, if you're trying to do something that's low budget, you know, you're going to use a chainsaw once in a blue moon. It's up to you if you want to go for it. If you're doing the heavy duty work that I do with it, we're going to find out. We're going to find out how many pallets this thing can take. I'm going to try to keep track of it, you know, write it down. You know, MaxLander did 10 pallets and then the engine exploded. You know, and I run it for that amount of time, then it goes down, I clean up the mess, and then I grab another pallet. Then after I do 4 or 5 pallets, then it's sitting, and then I take all the, then I go and fill the shed up with more pallets, and then I repeat the process over again. So for price, I would say for the price, it's pretty cheap. You're not going to break the bank with it. It's 40 bucks, something like that. Like I said, I'll post that in the link. In the description, I'll post a link of it so you guys could look at it yourself. Who knows, in 10 years from now, it'll be $200, the way prices are going. For usability, well, let's go to weight. For weight of it, it's got a nice weight to it, so it helps you with the cutting. You don't want something too light because then you're forcing it and it's never good. You want something that's got a little weight, so if you got to give a little pressure to it, it's already got the weight behind it. So that's good. The weight is good on it. I like that. The blade, I would give the blade a 1 because of how many times it kicked back like that, as you saw. And that all comes down to different blades from different companies, and you know, like I said, I use a certain type of blade from one company, and they're phenomenal. So like I said, if I keep this, I'm going to take this blade off, throw it out, and put those blades on it, because I don't need to be, you know, trying to cut. That's aggravating. And that's when accidents happen. So I'd say the blade is definitely not good, but it's free. You use it for, you know, the time being. If you're cutting through logs, I'm not sure, but for pallets, I would say it does a good job cutting through pallets. The constant duty work of it, I would give it a 2. What do I mean by that? It is that I have to constantly keep tightening it. Now, I get it if it gets loose a little bit here and there, like a little bit, but we're talking about a massive amount getting loose. So you got to constantly, almost every time, you know, you're using it for, like, let's say 10, 15, 20 seconds, you got to just, you know, do the little yank on your blade to check it, because it's going to constantly get loose and loose and loose. And then eventually what happens is, when you don't do that, is we see a lot of the reviews on Amazon where someone's like, well, I was cutting and the blade keeps falling off. Well, it's because you're not checking it. Once you realize the issue with the saw, then you know, okay, that's the little quirk of it. But with the blade constantly getting loose, that can get obviously aggravating after a while. So I'm not really a fan of that. Like I said, it could just be a quirk with it, and that's really it. But at least you could tighten it, and that's it. It worked out of the box. I give it a 10 for working out of the box, and I give it a 10 for lasting for 1 pallet. So we'll find out if it lasts for more, but that is it for the MaxLander chainsaw, corded, powered, bought from Amazon. Tomorrow will be another saw, and we will see how far we can go. Later.